Don't say bad words.
Oh,
I think
sorry.
we're live. That's a great way to start it. Here we are. Welcome to Travelin Young and our live stream that begins with Miranda saying
Sorry.
bad words.
Hopefully you
Hopefully,
didn't hear that.
hopefully you can hear us okay. We've got a brand new setup with these mics here, which sound very, very podcasty.
Yeah.
That's the goal, is we want to be podcasty with this. And we are super excited. So this is a new concept that we're testing out here and exploring. And the idea is we're here at our kitchen table.
It's a bit more
It's more like a dining room.
It's a dining room
It's a
table.
dining room
Yeah. Dining room table here.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do is we're going to have a conversation. So we ate dinner just a few seconds ago, loaded the dishwasher.
That's why the door's closed to the kitchen.
And here, there's a
super
second
messy.
camera here that you can see the closed kitchen door over there. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have a conversation the same way we would if we were
Yes.
inviting you to our house after dinner, sitting around having a drink. Somebody said recently that we need to start drinking the wine and the stuff over there.
And over there, yeah.
And so this is
There you go.
some port
you
wine.
didn't pour me any.
Well, you were doing stuff. Jockey Club port that we got in Portugal because we went to Porto for the Easter break, and there's a video about that you'll see pretty soon. I'm gonna have a sip of this.
It's very nice.
I'm drinking water.
I have to make sure I don't pour any on
So
myself.
last night we were saying, what should we call this concept? And Maya said,
I said table talk.
yeah,
I don't
get a little
know-
closer
sorry.
to the mic.
I don't know. I don't know if that's like, hopefully that's not like the name of something else either. I don't know. I just thought of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
table talk. It's not
Table talk.
coffee talk
Or
from
pillow
Saturday Night
talk.
Live. Hey, now.
Coffee talk.
It's table talk. So here we are, table talk, and the idea of this format is we're
Oh
gonna
my
spin.
God, Kathy's here. Sorry.
We're gonna spin the
Kathy.
hey,
That's
Aunt Kathy.
Josh's aunt.
My aunt Kathy from
Aunt
Aunt
Kathy.
Now
What
I
happened
don't-
to you?
just one sip of
Your
this.
Aunt Coffee.
Aunt Kathy from
Okay.
New Jersey. And what we're going to do is we're going to spend the first 30-ish minutes, I don't know, depending on how long we can go, talking about a subject that we normally would talk about in a video.
Yes.
But I feel like some of the videos have really good comments. And I think it'd be more fun to see the comments in
Live.
live and to be able to
Yes.
comment on the comments.
Yes.
And that's the objective here. Then we're going to have a pre-recorded Trot on Tuesday that we did last night. We're bringing the Trot on Tuesday back.
Slowly.
It's
We're
so bad.
bringing
And
it
we have
back.
such a good
You know.
idea for the Trot on
Bring it
Tuesdays
back.
now.
And then at the end, we're just going to have a current event conversation. Things that are on our mind that have been
going on
happening
in life.
Things that
in
are
our lives
happening.
and what we cannot forget over the last couple weeks.
Yes.
So that's what we're doing today on Travelin Young's Table Talk. All right, table talk here. All right, so I'm sorry, Kathy.
I don't know what happened to him in that moment.
I don't know.
Kathy.
That's it's a lot to manage. We're live here. We're live. And
By the
we
way,
got
we
these.
all have our computers that we're looking at the comments.
Yeah,
Yes.
we want to see this
Yeah.
just to see what the comments are.
We're monitoring.
So what we're going to talk about on the first topic is something that comes up often as
Yeah, but
we're
I
gonna
feel
start
like when we bring this up, people are like, "Oh dear God, don't talk about that."
I don't know. It's the idea of what we're referred to.
Yes.
And we have a perspective as non-Danes being in Denmark. And that's, so what happens is a lot, and this has come up, and I've mentioned this in comments. I feel like I mentioned it in a video once before too, where people often refer to us as foreigners.
Yeah.
And real quick, the definition, so I accept that the definition of foreigner is a person born in or coming from a country other than one's own.
Yes.
I totally get that. But I feel like the word foreigner has a very negative connotation in the
Every
U.S.
time I hear the word foreigner, I just want to go like foreigner,
Yeah, exactly.
big foreigners.
Yeah.
And like, when I think of foreign, I think of like, I don't know, foreign object. Usually that's a bad thing.
Yeah,
that
medically,
you don't
it's
want
like-
inside of you.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. That's exactly. I think about it.
it's
It's like,
not like, foreign object.
ooh, sexy. No, it's like what
bad.
you do. What you do not want. It's
I
like,
didn't,
going off
mean
the
this
rails.
to go in that way. Not like that.
yeah. So the idea is, it's something that I feel like it's something that you feel like. To me, it's like it doesn't belong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I hear it, and when people in the U.S. say it, they say it in a very negative way.
Yeah.
And it's meant to say you don't belong here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whenever I see people refer to us as foreigners, that's exactly what I think of, right? Is that how you feel?
Yeah, like I don't know. When I hear someone say foreigners, like my immediate reaction is, or just my immediate like thought is, just something that they have like a negative opinion.
Yeah, like what I hear in my head is like we tolerate your existence in our country.
Yeah, and I know that people don't
No,
specifically mean
No.
that, right?
And also,
No,
I
no,
know
no.
that,
I
you
know
know,
they don't mean that.
English
I know
is a
that they
second
don't
language
mean
here,
that.
and
Yeah.
I'm sure that they don't actually like realize that that's what it comes off as.
Right. But that's what I think. It's like that's like instinctually
Yeah.
what I think. So I wanted to bring that up. That's why I say I prefer that we're referred to as internationals, and I think other non-Danes probably feel similar.
I just prefer immigrant.
Yeah, well, that's part two
Yeah.
of this conversation. Already, we're skipping.
Okay, sorry.
We're only like 5 minutes in. We're already on to part two.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Which is the difference between immigrant and expat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's often discussed as well. And I think I oscillate and have called us expats before.
Yeah.
And I've
Yeah.
said immigrants before. So let me quickly say the definition from the interwebs on what immigrant means.
Yes.
A person who comes to live permanently
Yes.
Yes.
in a foreign, look at that, they use the word foreign country. Expat, a person who lives outside their native country. So, yeah, I mean,
I mean, utlänning.
Yeah, that
that's
means, like-
basically the same thing.
That's
Like
basically
yeah,
the
but that's
Danish
like
land.
outside land.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
outside
the
land.
Danish like version of foreigner.
yeah.
I also don't really like it.
Utlänning.
Yeah. And that's what I've seen. And there's also, I've heard another one that's like, it's kind of like that, coming from outside,
Yeah.
which is fine. So anyway, expat and immigrant, which is another interesting thing. By the way, somebody did say, yeah, foreigner equals different, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's
Also-
I don't want to feel different is the thing. I want to feel like I belong and not feel different, right?
Also, some people in Danish, when they're talking about immigrant, they say invandring, which means like it's like
yeah.
invader, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. I haven't.
You've never heard that?
I probably didn't know what it was if somebody said it.
Well, there you go.
So this is what's interesting around immigrant and expat. So initially when we came here, we didn't know if we'd stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And since expat is somebody who's living outside of their native country, and if you're living with the intent of going back,
Yeah. Then you're an
you'd
expat.
be an expat. If you're moving with the intent of never going back, you'd be an immigrant.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I call myself an immigrant.
Now, yes. So to
Yeah.
answer somebody's question, we plan to stick around,
Yeah.
Yes.
and so
We don't.
Maybe to Kathy's shock. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't
okay,
think.
so
Corey and Kathy's
I want to comment on this thing that somebody just said, which is, I
Yes.
think is a very important thing, which is I think the problem is really the difference between immigrants and expats is whether you want privileged people to
yeah.
get to call themselves expats. And I think the reason why that's interesting is when you consider it, usually, let's say an American that moves to a place like Denmark isn't trying to escape or go get away from something that they, in their home country. They're going for a period of time, which is a very privileged position to be in, to be able to go somewhere temporarily
Yeah.
and not have, not be at risk if you go back home,
Yeah.
which is why privileged folks tend to be expats because they always have the choice
Yeah.
of going home. But usually immigrants are used for people because they can't go back home and they're meant from day one, they're going to be there permanently.
Yeah.
I think that's the reason why that often gets used. But
By the way, someone said that invandring actually means migrant, but maybe it's just in my head that whenever I hear it, it like
Yeah.
sounds
it
like
does.
invader.
It, sounds,
Yeah.
it does sound like
yeah,
invader.
so I want to make a quick comment because my Aunt Kathy, who, so she's my aunt from New Jersey.
Yes.
And well,
married-
she's aunt by marriage,
that's
but
right.
she's married to my mom's
I was about
brother.
to say on the Italian
Yeah,
side.
and if you've seen our livapastai video with my uncle Ed making livapastai with me, that would be the spouse of my aunt Kathy, and my grandfather, her husband's father, or her father-in-law, was born in Italy and came over basically as an immigrant because he was fleeing Italy at the time with the intent of never going back. And she said, many people look down on my grandfather because he was not, I guess you could say, privileged in that sense. He was leaving at the time of right before war and in a position where he didn't have much money. He didn't know a cent of English when he got there, so he couldn't communicate well. And that's why this is like often where this whole thing lives,
Yeah. But yeah, I think there are, like I've definitely heard like members of our family say like, oh, people in our family like work so hard to come to America and now you're just like going back. But I actually saw a TikTok today that made me think a lot about it. Is because they said maybe the new American dream is leaving.
Oh, no.
Because like, the original, what I think of as the original American dream is like,
life.
when I think of like the original American dream, it's like, early 1900s, people moving to America and stuff like that for a better life. So I think it's kind of funny that maybe now the American dream is just doing the opposite, and going back.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, for me, now we're getting into a discussion about the American. This is what's happening with this new setup, right? We're evolving into a new conversation. This is good. That's the first half is about this stuff.
Yes.
I think the American dream for me has always been having choices and options,
Opportunity.
Yeah.
and I recognize that not everybody has that. We've been in a great situation where we did have that option and opportunity, and we elected to use that to come here.
Yeah.
So that for me is part of the American dream
Yeah.
because we had the chance and the
Yeah,
opportunity because of the circumstances of life, you know? Somebody asked, I feel like it was to us if we're going to go back. And and the plan is to stay here if we can.
Yeah. Yeah.
So ending out that part of
Fingers
the conversation,
crossed.
we would now, I might still accidentally say expat, but it's not purposeful.
Yeah.
Because it still applies because that is somebody living outside their country. But
And like if we're talking technically, we don't have citizenship yet, so like
No, but
technically we're not here like permanently, but we are here with the intent of staying here.
Yeah, but
permanently.
then that to me is the difference. Like if you're an expat, you never have the intention of getting
No, I know that. I'm just saying
citizenship.
that, like, if you think about it really technically, then
Well, yeah. But
Yeah,
I mean, I
but-
feel like because our intent now is to stay, and I know you want to get citizenship, and I think because we can get dual citizenship, I think I would also like to get citizenship at some point just for the security of it, and also I don't think when we came here we expected to come to love Denmark quite as much as we have. I think we just thought it would be, oh my God, we're going to live in Europe. This is super cool. Like we're going to travel all around Europe. I mean, that's why the name of the channel is Travelin' Young, because we came here expecting to travel all over Europe. And then COVID happened and we ended up staying in Denmark because that was the only place we could go. And we just absolutely fell in love with it. And then we were like, this is home. This is it. And now we just like, we want to stay.
yeah, and so at that time, I would have never said we're immigrants because we hadn't planned to
Yeah.
actually
Yeah,
stay here
exactly.
permanently. But now I would happily say that we are. And
Hopefully.
so it's not any kind of, for me, it's not a status thing. It's just that it didn't apply to us initially
Yeah,
because
yeah,
we weren't planning to
exactly.
stay. Now we are. So I'm happy to say that we're immigrating here as long as
Yeah.
the government allows us to
yeah,
stick
I
around
always
and do this.
whenever people at work, like I meet a lot of Americans at work, and they'll always say like, oh, like, do you plan on staying here? And I always say, hopefully, if they let me.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, and this somebody just said, by the way, it seems like we're not migrants is a way, but it was never said that way in our interpretation of what expat was. It was because we were planning to go back, and it's meant to
Yeah,
be somebody
yeah,
that's kind
exactly.
of there temporarily. And but again, if people like us often have the choice to go and come back,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's why it would readily get used. But if
I
you're
also feel like the word expat is kind of like bougie.
Well,
yeah,
I
but
think
it's
there's
because
this-
of that. It's specific people
And-
that can even say it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think there's also this connotation because I know part of the issue is especially in Spain, there's a lot of people from the UK. And no offense, I love the UK. We have some good friends in the UK, but they have a really bad reputation of going and getting like retirement homes in Spain and stuff, and then going and just expecting it to be the UK when they go. And I think that is what people think of a lot of times when they think of expats. They think of those kinds of people who like have no intention of ever learning about the culture
I mean, when I
or
think
or
of-
becoming a part of the culture. They're just there, to have a good time.
I mean, when I think about expat, I think about like some 20-year-old on a gap year moving to Bali or something for like 6 months.
But this is interesting because somebody said immigrant has a negative connotation. So I guess maybe from an American perspective, this goes back to the word foreigner.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in America, often the word foreigner is the negative word that's used more so than immigrant.
Yeah.
I mean, it is often used, but I mean, I think if somebody wants to be offensive to somebody, or
they'll call them a
talk down
foreigner.
to somebody, they'd use the word foreigner, which is why it's so,
But
kind
I
of
think
triggering.
but I wonder if that's just because like immigrants are such a huge part of our history, and like that is kind of that's something that I think most people are proud of, because everybody who lives in America, unless you're a First Nations person, came from somebody else or came from another land. And so that's why it's so important for Americans when we ask like, oh, where are you from? I think if you ask that of a day and they're like, well, my family's been here for, 500 years or whatever, why would you ask me that? But for us, our families come from everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I can date my family back to like France and Germany and Scotland and, all kinds of places. And I think that that's something uniquely American of it.
Okay,
Came here for the-
somebody
Oh, no.
came here for a talk about tables.
Sorry.
You
To
know what?
disappoint.
In a moment, that's genius. In a moment, we'll get back to the table because I will say something about this table, but not quite yet because I do. Somebody asked if we had to choose between
yeah, I saw that.
if there was no dual citizenship and we had to choose between the U.S. and Denmark, and I personally would still choose the U.S. because
Really?
yeah, I mean, if my Pop, as
Yeah,
mentioned by
yeah,
Kathy, he worked hard to
Yeah.
come to America and to make
Yeah.
sure that his generations that he below him would be able to be American citizens.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I get to live in another country and I have the option of having both. But if I had to surrender the U.S. citizenship to be a Danish citizen, I don't know. That'd be a really difficult thing because it's part of the identity of the generations of people. And plus, my other grandparents, now they lived in the U.S.
Yeah.
from the beginning. But I think that's really hard knowing that we've had people, parts of our family be in America for a long time as
Yeah.
well. I think it'd be tough to give that up. So that's
mean, I
luckily
think-
that's not something we have to choose.
I think it would be kind of tough too because I do definitely identify as, at the end of the day, no matter how long I live here, I'll still always be from America and I'll be an American. But I mean, maybe one day people will start calling me Danish if I've been here long enough. But at the end of the day, my, nationality will always be American. But I feel I don't know, because if I were to give up my U.S. citizenship, I feel like it would be of course it would be sad in a way because, Papa, my great grandfather, worked so hard to get to America. But at the same time, I would be just coming to Denmark for the exact same reasons that he went to America. if that
Yeah,
makes
you're
sense.
it's almost full circle.
Yeah, he went to
yeah.
America to have a better life for his family and stuff, and I would just be coming to Europe to have a better life for my family. So
Sure,
and without him coming to America, I wouldn't have had the option to go back.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough.
Yeah, we don't have to make the decision.
Luckily,
so
we
it's
don't have
okay.
to, so that's great. Real fast, by
Yeah.
the way, thank you, SDK Frig.
Yeah,
Maybe is how you say it.
50 krona.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate what you say, and I'm glad you follow. It's so nice that you followed us for a while and a long time, and we're happy to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a very interesting conversation. See,
Yeah, I'm not paying attention to the chat.
I know,
Probably should.
and as far as I know, by the way, I think being born in the U.S. mostly would give you, but I'm not totally positive how. I mean, I think becoming a
It's because someone asked if you were
Yeah.
born in the U.S., do you automatically
yeah,
get citizenship?
I don't know if your parents are not U.S. citizens. I'm not total. I think
I'm
but
pretty
not-
sure you can just be born in the U.S. and then you're a
Yeah,
citizen.
but I don't know, like if you flew over at
I
9 months
think-
pregnant and had it. I'm not totally positive.
I mean, I have my computer. Let me
I
Google
feel
it.
I
like
think
they
they've been
put,
changing some
a law
stuff.
in about that because I think somebody tried that.
I'm gonna
once.
Google it.
I likely was in the quickly and hold it. You'll see us around. I mean, we live in the area. I think going back to the topic, we should
And I look
probably-
thickly, by the
Probably,
way.
yeah.
so
Quickly.
good beer selection.
Someone said this says on the United States Citizen and Immigration. Oh my God, I can't read. United States Citizenship and Immigration Services says you can become a U.S. citizen by birth or through naturalization. Generally, people are born U.S. citizens if they are born in the United States or if they are born abroad to U.S. citizens.
Yeah, and that's what happened to me. I was born abroad, but to U.S. citizens.
So I guess if you're just born in the U.S., I don't know.
it's if that's why they have the whole concept of anchor babies.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
that's a whole different topic that we should probably.
Yeah.
I do want to say I feel like I'm like the odd man out because I don't have the history, the family history that you have of having an immigrant come. I mean, obviously I do, but like
Yeah,
my
but your
grandmother
family
was
probably
from
came in,
Canada.
like,
But I mean,
Your family probably came
it's
in
a bit
the
it's a bit
1800s
different.
or
Yeah,
something.
like they came a long time ago, and I feel like I have become the best version of myself in Denmark, and I don't know that I could replicate that in the U.S. Like now, when I go back to the U.S., it's like too much.
Yeah, but I also wonder, like, would your perspective of coming here have been different? You know that you can be a dual citizen because that's an option. But
Yeah.
if that was never an
Yeah,
option, you
yeah.
might have your whole path of integrating may have been a little
that's
bit
true.
different.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's
which
true.
might make. I mean, so we've been in a situation that we've been able to have a really good.
Yeah,
and
we've had a really good experience.
I feel
compared to some people.
I mean, I feel also like I don't know if the best version of myself is the right way, but certainly at this point in my life, I think it's the best
Yeah.
that I could be and the things that we're getting to do and everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, like when I was 20, 25, I mean, I don't doubt that I was living the best version of myself
I mean, I
at
think
that
every
point
day
in the
we
US.
just try to
you
be
know?
the best version of ourselves.
Yeah. Brisket, by the way, is I don't know where
He
he
knows
is.
where
Scared.
It's probably he was barking earlier, so it's best he's
Was.
not here.
Yeah, I agree.
He's worn out.
Somebody asked about us missing our homeland, and I think this is really, really interesting because it oscillates. I miss people like my Aunt Kathy, who's been
We miss
chatting
you,
here. We
Kathy.
miss you, Aunt Kathy. And luckily, I saw her last time I was there, which feels like forever ago now, making livapastai. And it was so funny, by the way. So we're making the livapastai, and Eddie's being Uncle Eddie, and you can't see Aunt Kathy, but she's just like
In the background.
trying to keep the laughter in the whole time. But I miss people. I miss my parents and friends. I think I'm going to mention this, but I want to hold a little bit of this because this was like one of the future topics I wanted to do in this. But I will say this, and I'll repeat it probably later.
Yes.
Which is, I think what I miss is when you leave. Like I knew life was continuing, but like subconsciously, you feel like everybody should be frozen.
Yeah.
And then when you see Facebook or when you come back, you
when
realize
you're ready to come back. Yeah.
everybody's lives
Life is continuing.
continued while you were without you there.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I miss. Like, I feel like I missed out on experiences with friends
Yeah.
and
feel
family
like-
because they didn't stop when we left. But at the same time, they probably feel like they're missing out on things with us because we're
Yeah,
here.
like
But
they're probably looking at us and be like, "Oh man."
I remember
Yeah.
when I very first moved here, like I would, see pictures of all my friends going to high school and stuff, and it almost felt like I was like dead and I was like watching them as like a ghost.
Yeah, I know
if that
you
makes
had a really
sense.
hard time with that.
Yeah, but like I felt like I was like dead because like I just was watching all of my friends experience life just like without me there. It was
Well,
really
and I
weird.
think it
now
was-
it's fine.
exactly,
but-
that's the part that I
yeah,
miss.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
what happened?
Well, I
that
don't miss
wasn't
that,
at?
but-
It's like FOMO. It's more like FOMO.
yeah.
Like
Fear
I
of
missed out
missing
Yeah,
on
it's kind
something.
of a FOMO. Yeah, but then I think when you went to after school and kind of met all your friends there, I think that and Vilas, we love Vilas. He's not. I doubt he's watching, but Vilas is a good guy.
Yeah, this is important. Eddie's getting some call outs here. Well, just
Eddie
good
is
Aunt-
amazing.
And Kathy's here because I'm sorry, Aunt.
I don't know what you said.
because I might not have talked about Eddie so much. Absolutely, I think that we will probably do some stuff with him. We
I
might
think
see
we have to
him
find a way
again
to get
soon,
him.
Yeah.
hopefully. And he is always more than willing to do stuff. I need to see if I can find, and Aunt Kathy, if she's still listening, she can tell me if she has it, and
Yeah.
if not, I'll ask her later.
Mm-hmm.
We made a video one Easter, also with my Uncle John,
Okay.
called the Chocolate Bunny.
What?
What was it? It was like the Attack of the Chocolate Bunnies.
What?
And it was like, we took my dad's video camera, and Eddie was in it, I was in it, Jeremy was in it. And if I could find this and play this in the
Oh my
future,
God,
and it was,
that
and I
sounds
remember
amazing.
this one point. So we took these chocolate bunnies from Easter, and at one point we attached like a fish hook to a fishing pole, and it was like flying around attacking
Sounds like
people.
something you would do.
This is and I need to see if we can find this and play this. I mean, that's like doing stuff with Eddie. My whole life has been that
ridiculous.
kind of stuff, and so he's
Yeah.
always game.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can do some stuff with him next
Yeah.
time we see him, and it would be a ton of fun.
By the way, two things. Someone
Yeah.
said, how many times do you go back to the U.S. per year? I usually
You go.
I
you
usually go
try to
once
go
a
back
year.
once.
Attack
a
of the
year.
Chocolate Bunnies. There's Aunt Kathy.
Bunnies.
and then you guys sometimes go more because of like work and stuff.
I haven't been back in a while though. Well, I guess we went back in 2020.
You haven't been. I went.
I haven't been in a while though.
Yeah, you were at that Christmas,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then I went back last year. You went to the summer, and I went by myself for a week.
But this summer we're all going.
We're
Yeah.
all going.
And Vilas.
Early though, I was going back for work when we first moved here,
Mm-hmm.
because work travel was so much more common back before COVID. And I went a couple times for work
Yeah.
and for fun a couple times a year. And then my grandmother passed away. I flew back just by myself to go to the funeral. So I think that first year I was there 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Between work, pleasure, and the funeral. But now it's far less, maybe once a year.
Yeah. Also, someone asked if I like, or not me specifically, but they just said, how do you, like keep in contact with friends and stuff? I
Like
usually-
the video? Do you video chat with friends?
yeah, like
I saw that one.
I
yeah.
usually like FaceTime with Amanda and Sydney, probably like every 2 weeks or so.
Yeah.
depending on our schedules. But honestly, I feel like we have the kind of friendship where we could not talk for like 4 months, and then when we do talk, it's like totally fine.
And you know, I think somebody asked, which I'll mention, I think is what that's streamed away now. So I think
Yeah.
I think what they asked is if we would maybe have people connect to this type of table talk in the future.
Maybe.
Oh.
And absolutely, that's the
Yeah,
plan.
that'd be cool.
The plan is to have, you know, friends and family at times. It's time zones are tricky because like on a Tuesday, it's in the middle of their workday.
Yeah.
Maybe we can pre-record stuff with people.
Oh dear Lord.
And then also I'd love to have guests at some point. I think it would be super, super cool to have guests even from Denmark to participate. So we got to see how we can
We gotta
build
work
this
that
up. This is the first one. So right
Yes.
now it's just us. But yeah, with which somebody asked, they can just see the corner of my Roadcaster
Oh my
2.
God! I know. I was like, I'm afraid to broach this
Yeah.
content.
Just for a second, I'll say this
because
is-
he's going to go on like a 5-minute
No,
tirade
it won't
about
be
all
5
the
minutes. I'm watching the
equipment he's
clock.
bought for this.
We got to get to the Trot on Tuesday soon.
Yes.
This is the Roadcaster 2. And one of the cool things is you can super easy connect Bluetooth to it to be able to like bring in a call or something or sound from the, you know, from the computer.
Yeah.
If you're doing like a Zoom
And I
call or
will
something.
admit it is pretty cool.
And it has sound effects.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
we do sound effect?
You want to hear a sound
Oh,
effect?
Yeah.
my
Can we
God.
do like the glitter one?
Glitter.
What's this
Okay.
one?
Just yeah. There we go.
Yeah, I think that went through. Hopefully.
Hopefully you guys heard that. The glittering.
Maybe.
Let us know if you heard the glittering noise.
It is super nice, and this is part of trying to set this whole thing up
Yeah.
and to get this kind of stuff moving because
Yeah.
I felt like it was. I want this. I mean, the objective is to have it be like we're. You know, I haven't even used a second camera in a while. Hey guys, this is just
my
you.
God.
Hey,
Hi.
Look, here
I'm
we
so
are.
focused. I'm not good at. Like I'm the production guy.
I know.
plus-
I'm not even
They said
paying
they heard
attention
it.
either.
Yes. They said
Yeah.
they heard the
So-
glitter noise.
They did. have the
Yes.
glitter
I'm excited.
noise.
Oh, I should. That's a good one.
Oh, no,
Hey,
don't
Kathy,
encourage him.
We're
You're
gonna do.
encouraging
We're
him.
gonna do some Zoom call with Eddie and do
Oh,
something.
dear.
So
We're going to mean like a 30-minute delay if we do that.
So a couple people have referred to this, by the way, as a podcast, which is like, I don't know. So I am recording this,
yeah.
just the audio,
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
record it.
and I'm recording the video. So I have options to do something with this also in the future if this is interesting to listen to instead of just watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why
Listen
we
to
got
it
these
on your
mics.
way to work.
Yeah, you know, who
know?
doesn't want to listen to,
Listen to our voices.
yeah,
Oh,
like our voice.
transportation.
Hey, how's it going?
I think
This is
I've mentioned
NPR.
this before that Josh, when we met, he was a jazz DJ at our
was.
university
At
radio
WMOT.
station, and his show would come on around the time that I was driving to work, and so I would always turn it on and listen to him, and he'd be like, "This is."
Yeah. This is, well, I mean, I could just say it. I'm right here.
Yeah, he's right there.
This is Joshua Young on WMOT.
WMOT.
This was the latest project from Branford Marsalis, who's
Project. You love the word
I like
project.
project is great when you're referring to jazz music.
Yeah.
It sounds so much more
It's
sophisticated.
like art.
Yeah, that was a
Art
CD
piece.
that we're just listening to right there. Is a CD from Branford Marsalis. I will say there was when I was
They went to college in Tennessee for reference.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's some jazz names that are tough to pronounce
There are.
because there's a
Some
lot of
unique
like
names.
foreigners.
Yeah.
A lot of non-Americans that play jazz, and
Yeah.
as a result, there's a lot of like French and names that were hard to pronounce. And in Tennessee land, we try to figure out how to say that stuff. Yeah, that's my radio voice. How's it
Oh,
going?
yeah. Somebody mentioned the main camera. I can see it. It's
Is there
kind of
anything wrong
dropping
with the camera?
frames a little bit.
Is it okay? Well,
Yeah,
hopefully
sorry.
it'll improve a little bit. So I'm trying to get. I've tweaked the streaming settings. Hopefully, the quality will be a little bit higher
Yeah.
than what it was when we did the beer drinking one.
Oh my God! Somebody had an Italian beef sandwich from Portillo's. Oh,
Is this the person I told to have one for me? Because somebody wrote something
so
recently.
good.
And I said, please have one for me.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if this is the.
Was it the first time you've ever had one? Because I feel like that's a life-changing moment.
I have something to admit.
What?
I've never been to Portillo's.
What?
Well, we'll solve that
How
next
did
time
we
you're
live in
Chicago.
Chicago for 8 years and you did
Never
not
been.
have any Portillos? You had to have had some.
No.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That
Thank you,
is
Marcus.
An outrage.
Although I'm a little bit disappointed that you had it and not me, but I appreciate you went.
By the way, someone asked if we like this house more than the old house.
I'm
Yes,
gonna go
yes,
with yes.
Yes, this is.
I think everybody likes.
And
I
it's ours.
loved the old house.
Yeah.
It was super cute. I think it was a very unique opportunity to live in a super, super Danish house. I mean, not that this one's not super Danish, but the other one was like old thatched roof cottage.
Yeah.
And like, how often are you going to get that opportunity?
And way back up, somebody said something about beer and IPA. I do not
Yeah.
like IPAs.
No, he doesn't like
I like Belgian style, but there's a ton of great, just Danish beers all over the place.
Oh, thank
Someone
you.
Thank you
see
for the
us
donation.
live.
Yeah.
They've
The
been asking
one-
a
I
lot of
answered
questions,
about
too.
roadcasters.
There you go.
Maybe I'll have
That's
to do a
very
whole
exciting.
roadcaster video. All right, we have hit
Lord.
the 30
Oh my
minute
God, 30 minutes.
30 minute
Okay.
moment, which means it's time to go to the pre-recorded Trot on Tuesday, which we did last
it's time
night.
for- wait.
So excited for this.
Let's do Try It on Tuesday.
Yes.
All right, welcome to
Yes.
a Try It on Tuesday. And
Tuesday, it's been a while.
what we're doing here is, this is interesting because we're not just trying to eat something,
No,
but you've also made it. So you've tried to
did.
make it. And let me, hold on, before you say this, one more thing. This is something we're going to try to do as part of the live streams.
Yes.
So it's a live stream Try It on Tuesday, recorded the day before, by the way. We're setting up for the live stream right now. But here we are. Go for it.
Yes, and I was in a bookstore one day, and I saw this very kind of old-looking book, and it turns out this is like super famous cookbook here in Denmark, and I had the idea that maybe for Try It on Tuesdays, that could be a bit of a Julie and Julia and try to cook my way through some of these recipes, and I have to say, I am super proud of my first go.
Well, you
because
haven't
I've-
tasted it yet, probably.
No, I feel like I decided to make flæskesværd, and I feel like these look super legit, and I'm slightly concerned that they're not going to taste good because I made them. So
Okay, well, I guess we should try it. You should try it. You should start.
okay, I'm going to try it.
Now, you're a huge fan
haven't-
of these in general, by the way.
They're so good.
Well, it's making the right noise. It sounds like your
Oh my god,
teeth have broken.
it's so good. It's so good.
Danes eat this by the handful.
Oh,
So for non-Danes, what is
yes.
this made from exactly?
So this is, I actually had to go out and get a pork roast. We call it a flæskesteg. And what I ended up having to do was cut off the pork belly. So this is essentially just like oven baked pork belly. And normally it's on top of the flæskesteg, but I just cut it off. And actually now I saved the rest of it to be a roast for later. But yeah, it's delicious. It's a bit like pork rinds, but 1,000 times better. I love them.
Okay, well here I'll try.
Yes.
Although I'm not a huge fan, and I like my teeth, so I typically.
Crunched appropriately.
But they go good with beer. So here I'm actually drinking a, not related to this at all. This Mokjul ale that's left over from
oh yeah,
Shields that didn't make it into the Christmas beer tasting, but I still had it. So it's good with beer.
I'm excited.
Just listen to that. If you're into
It's so
ASMR of
crunchy.
people chewing, it's so loud.
They're definitely very crunchy.
I feel like also my Midfun's Brewhouse glass. Anyway,
He's still going. Smaller bites. There you go. Wash it down like a true Dane with beer.
so
Exactly.
I would say that it tastes like, I mean, I'm not a huge fan in general, but it tastes like it's supposed to.
Tastes legit.
It's, I feel like I need to go to a dentist, which I think is part of the experience. It has, I feel like, maybe a little bit too much salt.
Never.
A little bit, but
Never too much salt.
otherwise, you know, I think you did a decent job. And so
I'm very proud of myself.
the idea is we're going to be doing this kind of stuff as part of our live stream. So make sure you join in and see what we're going to taste on the live streams Try It on Tuesday. That will maybe not every time, but quite often be a combination of trying something that we eat and something that Miranda's made from this cookbook. Probably all out of focus there. All right, let's get back to the live stream now.
Thing is too much salt.
All right, there we go. So I brought my nice little Try It on Tuesday graphic back again.
yes.
Built a long time ago.
I-
Inspired by Closer Look by Seth Meyers.
So
He's
first,
similar.
First of all, I have to say I love how many people said not only do they look good, but they sound good. They sound appropriate.
We made sure that you could hear the chewing.
Yes, and also I am forever going to call them pork swords now because that just cracked me up so bad.
Yeah, so if you have other ideas of things that we should make to try making and try eating from the cookbook, let us know, because this is something we're going to incorporate into the live streams to bring Trot on Tuesday back. It's coming back.
Tuesday.
Coming back.
Looked as good as your pronunciation. I say fläskesvär so correctly because I eat them so often. So
she orders it frequently.
All the time.
We got good ones. I mean, besides the butcher that got it once for us that we ate during the beer tasting 2 Easters ago, I guess. Maybe.
Man, that was so good.
I got some at Bauhaus one day that were I brought that whole thing.
Really?
That was pretty
that's
good.
right. Those were good.
Because we were going there often during the move.
Have you ever tried Cold Skull? We have, and it's Cold Skull season. It's almost Cold Skull season.
I saw Kamionka yesterday.
Well, Cold Skull was with your friend.
City, yeah.
No.
But I was just gonna say that I don't really like fläskesvär because I hate the sound of chewing and I can't even stand my own sound.
And I don't want to break my teeth.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I like to keep my teeth where they are. Thanks.
Oh my God, the steakfläsk med pissesol. Yeah, we had a incident with that. That was one of our failed Try It on Tuesdays that we had to redo. There's a video where we went back and like fixing Tuesdays. That's what it was. And we went and I tried to make steakfläsk once, and it was really, really bad. Like it was not hard at all, and I got roasted in the comments.
And I want to say something about Try It on Tuesday. So I'm glad we're got it back, and
we're addressing the controversy.
Well, just one of my favorite things about Try It on Tuesday is it was just a random idea.
Oh, he's so proud of this.
I know we're just like randomly. I'm like, let's go get this hot dog. And let's just call it Trot on Tuesday, and let's just try different things because we do videos on Tuesdays. And it's neat to see, and that's when we meet people. Often people say they like the Trot on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And to like have something, this is what's so fun about YouTube, is have something that you just kind of like created out of nowhere, and people like it's just enjoy it. It's just it's such a cool feeling.
Yeah.
And I feel bad that we took it out. It was because we were running out of things to make. But this cookbook is giving us a wide range of new stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So somebody said that there's an old version of it that has how to cook a turtle. I mean, I guess back in the hard times,
wow.
You know,
I'll have a chocolate
if there was nothing
turtle.
else.
What are those called?
You always got turtle.
Skildpadda.
All right, so that was Trot on Tuesday, and here we are in the last 23 minutes. Well, we're now going to talk about current event things or stuff that's just like stuck in our mind.
Oh God, we can't
I'm going to start, if that's okay.
Do it.
I have been watching a ton of Sopranos, and it's great that Aunt Kathy's here because part of it is to prepare myself for when we go to New Jersey next, because a lot of the stuff in Sopranos, if you haven't watched it, it takes place in Jersey, very close to where my Aunt Kathy lives and where my mom grew up. And so while none of my family members were in the mafia like Sopranos, just the accents and stuff, you know, it sounds like I'm back in Jersey.
You're not allowed to say anything about the mafia to your mom or she'll get really mad.
And so this is a scene. I had to play this scene that I saw
oh my God.
early. Now I went through, another thing I'll say is like, I like to go through my favorite shows every 10 or 15 years and run through them. Yes. So I watched the whole Sopranos over the course of a couple months from start to finish. I finished it. This was early though, season 1, episode 9. Yeah. Watch this clip.
It's relevant.
and it's relevant to the headwear.
Oh my. That would be great.
Take your hat off.
Excuse me?
They don't sell hot dogs here. They took the bleachers out 2 years ago.
It's my hat. I'll wear it where I want.
How you doing?
So if you know this controversy about me wearing hats, I love to wear hats. And it's like an on-off thing here where people are like, don't like it when I'm wearing a hat.
Because you're inside the house.
Because I'm inside my, but it's my, anyway, and so we've mentioned this, and there's always, like, I say something about the hat, and there's all these comments, and then when I don't wear a hat for a while, like I'm not wearing one today, people just assume it's because I've given up on hats.
Yeah. No,
it's not. It's
I can
because
tell you.
I don't wear it on days when I'm working, so it depends on when we're, like recording.
Yeah.
And so I just thought it was so funny if Tony Soprano came up to me and asked me to take my hat off and looked at me like that,
Yeah.
I would for sure take my hat off.
Yeah.
100%. My hat would be taken off as quickly as I possibly can.
Sorry. Yeah. This is, somebody said, I think we're forgetting to interact with the audience, and we're trying, this is a different format for us. So
Yeah, well,
we're
we're
getting
working
carried
on it.
away.
We're reading. I think we're saying a lot of things here.
We're reading and trying to, so we may not say something like, oh, I know, I'm just messing with you. But I think it's more like we're trying to read this and then we might talk about stuff.
Yeah, and not
like,
break our train of thought, which is a challenge.
Yeah, exactly.
So this was something that's been sticking with me, is that it was probably 2 months ago that I saw the hat clip, because that was early. And I've just gotten
was like
through.
instantly mad.
I was like, oh man, this whole hat thing. And just immediately, and I'm like, we got to talk about this one day
Yeah.
on the channel, because the hat.
The hat.
So it's been stuck with me, but I've gotten through all of Sopranos.
Yes.
And I'm not sure what I'm going to watch next, but I love watching these old shows.
You know what you should find? You should find like a really old one, like, Dallas or something.
No. It has to be something I really like and is like really good. Like, we watched Lost a couple of years ago. I went through
that
them
was
all.
a good one.
That was good.
And then I went through The Shield, was one of my favorite shows
Maybe we
a
should
couple of years ago.
rewatch The Walking Dead.
There's too much. That goes off the rails. Like Sopranos there was some.
Is The
but
Walking Dead still going?
I think there's some version of it.
What was
movies and
that
stuff.
show with Michael Chiklis? Oh,
That was
that's
The
the
Shield.
Shield. That's the
Yeah.
Shield. What about The Wire?
Yeah, that might be a rewatch.
Yeah, there you go.
We could rewatch
Matador. Oh God, we got to get back to that.
Breaking Bad. It wasn't that long ago
Yeah.
that I watched Breaking Bad. So, Twin Peaks, of course, and Kathy, who she might remember, we watched a lot of Twin Peaks together.
Scrubs.
Because that was like when I was in high school and stuff, I guess, when that was on.
Yeah.
All right, so Maya,
Me.
let me.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna
God.
now. In this case,
I want to announce
you
it
can,
first.
Okay, and then tell me, and then you
okay.
can talk over the photos.
Okay, so I have an announcement for everyone, and is that we have added a member of the family.
Yes.
A new small pair of feet are around the house. Okay, show the
Hear
picture.
the,
Show the
Okay.
picture.
hear the pitter patter of little feet all around the house.
This is my cat. I got a cat.
Yes.
Her name is Ollie.
Yeah.
Her full
she's-
name is Olivia Newton Cat.
Yeah, after
Which I
Olivia
loved.
Newton-John. I did not name her that, but she's very cute. She's
Josh
very
is
sweet.
Just,
she's a very sweet girl.
I did gain some sympathy weight, but
yeah. What a strange dog.
But she's a very good girl, and I've been waiting years to get a cat.
Yeah, because I think you really missed Moose.
Yeah, he was our old cat.
He was our old cat, and he was a million years old,
Yeah.
and it was time. It was his time, but
This is her
I
in a
think
stroller, by the way.
Yes, this is
yeah.
her in a
And
stroller.
I said when Moose passed away, I said when we get a house.
Yes.
that we
And
own.
buy a house.
And I bought myself
Yeah.
2 years from that statement.
Yeah.
But that was the first thing we had to do.
Yes.
And
when,
you lasted like what, 3 weeks before you
Yeah.
got that cat?
Well, okay. Well, here's the whole story. So in like November, when I found out that we were moving, I started looking around. I joined this Facebook group for people in Denmark, like giving away their cats or pets because they
Wow.
were like moving or something. And I got in contact with this lady about her cat, but it wasn't going to work out because she needed someone to take her cat sooner.
Like immediately.
Yeah. But then she got back to me like, I don't know, a few weeks ago saying that it's not like working out at her new home. And so they needed a new home or else they were going to, I don't know if
Yeah.
I should say it. But
Kathy's
Unlive. I heard
they were
somebody
going
say
to-
unlive earlier today.
yes, they were going to unlive her.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, bring her immediately.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, we'll test it out a little bit. But she's doing very well.
Yeah.
She's not a super big fan of brisket, but
No. But at first
Brisket
it was horrible, but now
desperately-
now it's
Yeah.
okay.
it's slowly, but
Bris-
we're very supervised.
Brisket
Yeah.
desperately wants to be her friend. Like he's so badly. And it's so funny too, because I have a really good friend who we both had coonhounds, and hers recently passed away, unfortunately, but her name was Zoe, and she, like, every time Allison walked her around the neighborhood, Zoe would find a neighborhood cat, and you could just see how badly she was like, oh, let's be friends. I want to be friends with
But
you. And
the
that's
main
how
thing
Brisket is.
that I really wanted to talk about with these pictures is that, and people have already commenting on it. Yes, I bought her a stroller.
Yes.
I have.
And nobody supports that.
No, I have reasoning to it. Okay, I have reasoning to it. So
Even
listen,
Velas.
listen, no, Velas does not support. I actually asked him if he wanted to go out with me yesterday, and he was like, no. But anyway, so I have reasoning to it. So she used to be half outdoor, half indoor.
Yes.
But other cats would like always attack her, and she would come back getting like bitten by stuff.
Yeah.
And so
So it's like you still want her to
I
be
want
able
her
to go
to still
outside and
experience the
enjoy
outside.
outside, but do it safely.
yeah, and since she doesn't really like dogs that much, I
No.
want to be able to take her outside without her, having to meet other dogs or
No.
come into contact with other cats and stuff.
Yeah, I like this. Somebody said you should get one of those like
Cat backpacks.
those
yeah.
weird.
I thought about
Just
that.
like you take
Space
them on the
cat
moon.
backpack.
Yeah, I thought about that too, but stroller it was.
Yeah.
No.
She likes it.
All right. So she'll maybe make an appearance at some point.
That's not-
Actually,
she doesn't
live.
really come
I
upstairs
don't
that
know
much.
about that.
That'll take a
Yeah.
while.
She stays.
but-
I mean, I live in the basement, and so she stays like in my area because it's a dog-free zone.
Yeah, well, Brisket like sits at the top of the stairs. He's afraid to go downstairs
desperately
because
waits
it's a
for her
bit
to come
steep,
up.
and he'll just stand there and look. Every so often, I see him check the little opening in the door.
Yeah.
Is the cat gonna?
The cat there.
Is the cat gonna come out?
No.
Is the cat? All right.
Someone said, by the way, really quick. Someone said, "How is Maya doing? Is she getting her driver's license?"
No, you're not.
By your choice.
By your choice, you decided not to.
I just feel like for everyone on the road safety, I should stay off the road and out of the car. That's how I feel.
It's her choice. Yeah.
Maybe one day, but right now
She
I
needs
feel
a
like I don't.
catio.
I feel like I don't really need. I know that there was all this stuff that I wanted. I just wanted to be able to do it.
Yeah.
But now I have the ability to do it. I just don't want to because I'm just scared.
And somebody keeps asking, and maybe we can do this really quickly and go around the table, but somebody keeps asking, what is the favorite Danish dish?
Yeah.
Dish.
Let's
For
do this.
everybody.
Do this quick.
Mine is stick place.
Okay. I actually really like pickled herring. Just gonna say
What?
this.
I
now.
don't even know
Wow.
you.
That's
Can it be a
really
dessert?
sorry.
Can I say hindbærsnitter?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
If not
Hindbærsnitter.
hindbærsnitter, I think a good fliskesai sandwich is
Oh,
good.
I didn't even think
Just the
about
one
that.
from
That's a good
Social
one.
Grill or whatever. Super good.
Yeah.
All right, Miranda, this is
Mine.
your
Yes.
thing.
This is
Do
mine.
you want to set it up or should I just press the button?
You can press the button.
All right.
I
Button's pressed.
So I have been working on the Lego Rivendell set, and let me tell you, this thing is amazing. I am a huge I really like Lord of the Rings. I love this meme. I don't know why. I saw this meme the other day and it made me laugh so hard. And I told Josh, I was like, put this with the Lego set because it's Rivendell. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, but even more than that, I have loved Legos since I was a little kid. And I still dream about the 1989 set, the Black Seas Barracuda pirate ship that I never got. And over the years, I've gotten some Lego sets, and this thing came out, and I was just like, I was just dropping so many hints to Josh. I was like, I need to go get this. Oh, look at that. Doesn't that look really cool? And it just so happened that I was able to pick it up, and I have had so much fun building it. It is so cool the way some of the engineering is done of how to build it, especially like when you're building round shapes with square bricks, and like some of the like really, I feel, innovative ways of putting things together. I just love that stuff. It just makes my heart happy.
I love when
So,
Lego uses like the little frogs as like leaves on trees. Sometimes.
there's a re-release of the Black Seas Barracuda. I'm buying it.
Yeah, so I have to say, this is funny because somebody said, "Is it Legos or Lego bricks?" And I am a big fan of Seth Meyers and his what is it called? The fixing, the corrections.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, corrections.
and he gets called out by people when
All
he
the
calls
time.
it Legos instead of Lego
And
bricks.
it's Lego bricks.
I say
Oh
Legos.
man, somebody
said
made the
Lego.
Apollo 11. That thing's amazing. That's huge. That is a huge set. It looks super cool.
And we've known that Lego's Danish for quite a while.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know until I moved here.
Oh,
Sorry.
I knew because we'd been to Legoland. You were
Yeah,
little, but we went to Legoland
Yeah,
in California
we knew
when you
that.
were little.
Oh,
And I definitely
remember
knew
that.
that. And I've known Danes for a while, and we came here, 11 or whatever years ago?
yeah.
Certainly do
something like
then.
that. I was like 9.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew that about Klaus Larson mentioned that the Queen made the illustrations for the Lord of the Rings, and I knew about that a while ago. I actually went to a big exhibit that they had at Frederiksborg's lot of some of the like Queen Margaret's art, I think, and they had all the illustrations there, and it was super cool.
By the way, someone said, "Do you like the Lego flowers?" I love the Lego flowers.
Oh yeah, those are nice.
If anyone wants to privately message Vilas and tell him to buy me the Lego bouquet, please do so.
Yeah, and they came out with that wildflower bouquet. That's really pretty. I like that one.
I feel like I saw a clip of somebody, rather than like walking on hot coals, was walking on a bed of Legos to test their
like every parent's
endurance.
nightmare.
So I'm going to move on to something which I don't know if
Okay.
you guys realize this, but there's two big things that happened today
Okay.
at this day in history in the young life,
Is this in the young
In
life?
the young
Okay.
life.
in the young family. So
This is news to us, apparently.
we're going to talk over this video.
Okay.
2 years ago today is when we appeared.
my
Oh my
God.
God.
Yeah, I
Has
got
it
this.
been that long?
Is
Wow.
when we were on Go More in Denmark.
Yeah.
And,
Oh my.
And it was
That was a wild experience.
that was amazing. I can't believe that was.
Yeah.
So I got my
That
hair
was
cut
crazy town.
directly before this, and my hair literally looks so bad.
Would we
but,
have to bring Ollie with us if we went back again? Because they let Brisket come to this one.
No.
I mean, I can't believe that
She'd
that
be like
was
running everywhere.
pretty sure
amazing.
they
That
wouldn't let
was 2 years ago. Such an
That's
amazing,
crazy town.
so much fun. Everybody was so nice, and we still
Yeah.
are in contact with like Steen and I. I mentioned, we message each other
Yeah.
every so often. First time I didn't wear my hat, yeah, because Tony Soprano was waiting for me outside, and it was such a cool experience. Everybody was so amazing, and it just really kind of helped connect us with Denmark even more.
Yeah.
We felt
Yeah, I
like the
think so.
channel was like something that people could relate to,
Yeah.
and getting that like validation through that experience
that we
was
were
just
doing something kind of
amazing
special.
for us.
Yeah, and I don't think like I think there's a lot of people who go into this stuff specifically to like get clout and be an influencer and be famous and all that kind of stuff, and that's absolutely not why we do this. And I think we like don't do sponsorships and all that kind of stuff just because for me that kind of feels icky. Like I might do one in the future if it feels cool, but we just like doing this stuff. It's fun.
And that was like the
Once in a lifetime.
that was
Yeah,
amazing.
that was like,
And that's
well,
the-
hopefully not once in a lifetime.
And that's the thing that's really challenging too with this whole roller coaster is like at some point you think, wow, we're on TV now. It's just like, it's
we're gonna
upward.
oh my God, we're gonna be famous.
And I
then
can't
it didn't
imagine
happen.
people that rely on that, like
Yeah.
if they need that
Yeah,
in order to
like
feel,
make an income.
yeah, or just to feel connected or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's true.
I mean, it's all just been bonus and gravy, as we would say in
Yeah.
America, or icing on the cake.
Yeah, not that. Oh, you were gonna do.
I was going to say the other thing because
Yes. What is the second thing?
the other thing is 5 years. So we talked recently in that one video about memory lane, where it was 5 years since we announced to people
Yeah.
that we were going to Denmark.
yeah.
But it
I
was
think I got
5 years
this
ago.
Memory post of yours on Facebook the other
Yeah,
day.
Yeah.
5 years ago.
Oh
that
my God, all the
this
bags.
was when I flew
That's when you
here
left.
on April 24th and arrived on April 25th. And this is all the luggage that I brought with me. And inside that was because I was coming for a month.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it was still another month before all our shipment of stuff would go.
Yes.
And so I had clothes, I had a record player, I had records, and I had one of my
Importance.
guitars there. And
you have
that was
hats?
just, I had hats, of course. I was probably wearing a hat.
You were
can't
definitely
see
wearing
me.
a hat when you left.
I'm sure I was wearing a
Yes.
hat. And I can't believe that was, that was 5 years ago
That's
now.
crazy.
Yeah.
So it's officially now 5 years for me since I set foot
Yeah.
in Denmark with a valid visa to live here and a residency permit. And then you guys came a month later.
Yes.
Somebody said they think we all have a voice that sounds like a radio host. I appreciate that.
Well, these microphones, I have these special little
I feel like anybody
settings
could
on this
Go on this,
Yeah, I
this
think
kind
we
of
all
microphone
sound
and sound good.
microphone. Plus, there's like a podcast setting that makes it even more.
I will say, Josh, one time Josh did this video project, and because Josh and I both studied video production in college, oddly enough. And Josh one time did this video project where he had to replace all of the audio, including
well, this
the music.
it was an audio project.
It was an audio project, you're right, but it
Using
had
the
a
word
video
project
component.
again.
I'm sorry.
That was a school project.
Yeah,
In
it
that
was a
case,
school
was
project. And the clip that he got was the like last piece of Aliens where Ripley's going through trying to find Newt, I guess. Or she's
got
getting
the
Newt.
kid.
Yeah, she's got Newt. But anyway, he was like, "Hey, do you want to be the automated voice?" And so I had to practice up my
one line.
my one line. 1 minute to self-destruct.
These are the Rode pod mics. Wow. So I'm mostly all Rode here. With my Rodecaster Pro. It's actually not, but it's actually an Australian company. It's not.
They're just using it to be cool.
It drives me insane.
They're like
they
Elon
use
Musk,
the
I think.
and they don't
Danish
actually say.
Someone said
Somebody listened to the Andrew Combs
Andrew
cover.
Combs cover.
Very nice.
I've been thinking about. So we've been going to concerts again lately, and I've been thinking about. So we went and saw Josh Ritter, who's one of my favorites. A week or I'm not good at time anymore.
Smiliest man in
a
the
week
world.
or 2 weeks ago at Hotel Cecil, and I know a couple of his songs in the guitar because he has this cool thing where you can basically buy a guitar book with all his songs in it. And so when I started learning, I learned a lot of his songs. And I almost did a cover of one of his songs.
And I don't always see you like practicing his songs, and then at the end you'd be like shaking your hand out because it hurt. Like because some of his songs
fast.
are like really fast.
Well, it takes a while to build up the.
Yeah, you got to get that callus.
By the way, really
Callus is on that side.
if we're talking about music, I really want to push my 3 music Danish rotations right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to, if anyone knows Fabrik, I'm going to a Fabrik concert.
Oh, she's so excited.
And I'm so
about
excited.
this.
I love them so much. And I also recently went to a concert for this band called Beske. They're kind of small, but they're literally like amazing, amazing performers. Like out of all the concerts I've been to in my life, I've never seen anyone that's such a good live performer as these guys. And then also the opener for Beske, his name was Chris. He was also really amazing
Really good.
performer, like kind of small on Spotify, but like really good stuff that I wish like more people listen to their stuff.
Well,
so
go
good.
listen to their stuff.
Well, I'm super glad that we helped turn somebody on to Andrew Combs. That was
Yeah.
the intent.
Oh, that's
so I'm
very
glad
We're
he is.
converting
And
people to
actually,
Andrew Combsism.
his drummer and guitar player was recently in Copenhagen playing with somebody else, and we saw him just a month and a half ago because we know him. Super cool. I hope he comes back soon.
Yeah.
I haven't seen, but
Somebody said we need to check out the Nibe Festival. We should do that. I think they had also said
that's
like
like
if
that's
we're
a
close
folk
to
festival.
rebuild,
Yeah.
then we need to go to Nibe.
yeah, I mean, music is fantastic.
Look at you with the Danish.
Okay.
Podcasts, real fast. Somebody asked about podcasts.
Yes.
I watch sometimes the Conan O'Brien stuff because that's super good.
Yeah.
But I listen to not this style of podcast so much, more like Radio Lab and things like that.
I love Radio
When I'm listening to podcasts. But I'm currently on like an audiobook thing where I've been listening to more audiobooks
Yeah.
than podcasts lately.
I also like This American Life. Also.
Yeah,
well,
that's a good one.
This
More
American
Perfect is a really good one. I
Yeah,
like
that's
that
from
one.
the makers of
Yeah.
This American Life, I think, or
Yeah.
Radio Lab.
Yeah.
Always Sunny podcast. I think
Yeah,
we
and actually we
listened to
just
that
listened,
a couple times.
We did listen
Maybe,
just last
yeah.
night at dinner to the Jason Bateman.
Oh, that was great.
Will
Will
Arnett.
Arnett, and then what's his name?
By the way, Will Arnett was in like 2 or 3 episodes of Sopranos. If you didn't know,
What was he in?
he was like the husband of this FBI agent that was trying to get
my
Adriana to flip. And I'm like, is that Will Arnett? That was before Arrested Development. And stuff.
So
Yeah. So it's just tough to keep track of podcasts and everything. So, all right, we're really trying to keep this to an hour.
Yeah,
so that
we have
means
3
we're in the
minutes left.
final 3 minutes. We're going to try to keep this compartmentalized. And
Maybe
there's some
next time we
things.
should do a longer one.
Yeah, well,
No.
no, it's just we got more content for next time.
yeah,
Like there's some
that's
things
true.
I
We're
thought I was going to talk about,
Keep going.
and there were more things that we didn't get through. So we got, and what we'll do is we'll go back and look through some of these comments that we didn't get to see, and we might comment in here or bring it up next time, and that would be super cool because we have a lot of things.
No.
Yes, we don't talk about politics, and
Yeah, we try to be really careful.
we
about
will
that.
vote because we do
Yeah,
vote.
we do.
We are
Yeah, we
do
Americans.
vote.
But who we vote for is between us and the post office that receives our stuff in the mail.
This will be my first year voting.
yeah.
By the way. I actually could have voted in the midterms, but I kind of forgot that since I'm like living in another country, I have to do it like 2 months ahead of time.
Yeah,
So I kind of forgot.
Yeah,
You
and you
gotta,
gotta
like,
make sure
do
you
the
get registered.
whole,
I don't know how.
I don't know
Oh,
how
you
to
register at the. No, you got a thing when you were at the embassy that helped you figure that out.
Oh, okay.
Do you
But-
play cornhole?
Cornhole, yes, we
play
not
cornhole
religiously,
Not now, but
we have played. Our friends Jen and Steve had a cornhole thing. We played with them a lot. I don't know. The Go More in Denmark was like so. I don't even know if it's available online anymore. It was so long ago. But it was April 25th, 2 years ago. I can tell you that
2021.
on a Sunday.
we're saying we're being us keeping it to 1 hour is very Danish.
Yeah, but I forgot. I was going to open this by saying that we're on time, unlike the Love is Blind
The reunion.
reunion show,
Yes.
which was not on time. And that's one of the things we've watched all the Love is Blind recently.
We did watch all of that. We finished it.
And so, yeah, let us know what you think of this. We're hoping to do more of these. There's a lot of topics
Yeah.
and a lot of things. I think I've had a fun time. So
Yeah, this is fun.
And we've been trying to be engaged. I don't think we're very good at looking at the camera, so I apologize for
Yeah,
that. That's
sorry.
something we got to work
I'm
on.
looking at the
each
comments
other.
on
Yeah,
my.
and we want to
yeah.
get more cameras at some point so we can have different angles. But we appreciate this if you enjoy it and want us to have give us some ideas on different topics. And the idea is this is like us sitting and having a conversation after dinner, that 8 o'clock hour. We're going to do this again in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I don't know what the date is off the top of my head, but
I can look at it.
I will post this on the community as well as Facebook.
Yeah.
And we'll do this again in 2 weeks. We're going to try to keep doing this every 2 to 3 weeks, depending on our schedules.
Yeah, we got
I
like
believe
work
that will
stuff.
be
So
May 9th.
sometimes,
I
yeah.
May 9th. I
next
feel
week.
like
so.
that's probably 2 weeks.
Yeah.
There you go. So thank you so much for joining us. We didn't get to all the
I'll look at the
topics
camera
because this
this
has been
time.
such a great conversation.
Yeah.
And Brisket is under the camera. He's like, "What? You guys are
Oh.
done?"
He's coming to
What?
explore.
He
All
wants
right.
to know what's going on.
All right. So yes, please again, let us know if you have topics you want to talk about for major topics at the beginning, as well as
Yes.
things to try out on Tuesday. And there you go. We're going to say goodbye for now. Have a great rest of the week. Coming up soon, we're going to have our video from Porto because Miranda and I went to Porto
Please
over
watch
Easter.
that. We work so
And,
hard on our travel videos and nobody ever
Yeah,
watches
people
them.
don't watch the ones when we're outside
By
of
the way,
Denmark.
a lot of people are now saying that they just tuned in. I just want to say you can watch the live after.
Oh,
After.
yeah.
Yes, you
Oh,
can go back
no.
from
Of course,
the
you won't be
beginning.
able
Yeah,
to,
sorry.
interact, but you can watch what we talked about.
Yeah.
Somebody was listening to their fountain pen podcast, and I respect that. I love a really good fountain pen,
right.
and they're nice.
We're a minute over now.
Okay,
Yes.
sorry.
Oh my
sorry.
God. Sorry.
We're trying to get on schedule.
Okay, sorry.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We will see you later. Goodbye.
Bye.